By the fourth night, sleep had become a memory. I didn't dream anymore. I only closed my eyes and waited for morning light. Even in my flat, I could still feel the warehouse around me. Its smell, its breath, its silence. When I walked down the street, I kept hearing faint knocks beneath the pavement. When I looked at people, they looked far away, like I was watching them through thick glass. I tried to quit. I wrote the message to the supervisor, but never sent it. My hands shook too much. A strange thought stayed in my mind. If I leave, it will follow me. So, I went back. The fog that night was the thickest I had ever seen. I could barely see my own boots when I reached the gate. The warehouse lights looked dim, almost red through the mist. When I stepped inside, the lights flickered 3 times, then steadied. The control room was colder than ever. The screens glowed faintly, their light pale and sickly. The 6th screen showed nothing again, just darkness. I sat for a while, trying to calm myself. The hum of the building had returned, low and constant. I almost felt comfort in that sound. At least it meant something was alive, besides me. The clock struck midnight. I began my usual round. The halls were silent. My flashlight cut through the dust-filled air, and my steps sounded too loud. I checked each door, each window, each empty room. Everything looked fine, but nothing felt fine. Halfway through the round, the power went out. All lights, all machines, all screens. Dead in a single blink. The darkness was total. Thick, heavy, the kind of dark that feels like weight on your skin. I couldn't see even the beam of my flashlight when I turned it on. It refused to work. The batteries were new, but the light wouldn't come. The air shifted. It wasn't still anymore. It moved, slow and wide, like something massive was passing nearby. I stood frozen, afraid to breathe. My ears searched for sound, but there was nothing, only silence, so deep it felt alive. Then came a faint vibration under my feet, the same heartbeat sound from before, slow and deep. The ground pulsed with it. I started walking back toward the control room, one hand on the wall to guide me. The corridor seemed longer than it had ever been. I counted my steps, but after 50, I was still walking. The building had changed again. The heartbeat sound grew louder. I could feel it in my ribs. The air smelled wet and old. Then, in the dark, a light appeared ahead, a faint red glow, trembling like fire seen through smoke. I moved toward it slowly. When I reached the control room, I saw where the light came from. The screens were on, glowing dim red. No pictures, just static. Lines moving like waves. I sat down slowly. My hands were shaking. The static on the 6th screen began to shift. It started forming shapes. Not clear ones, just shadows. The shapes moved together, slow and rhythmic, like figures dancing under deep water. Then the sound came through the speakers. It wasn't words, but something close. A deep, broken whisper. As if hundreds of voices spoke at once, but couldn't form sentences. I leaned closer. The noise filled the room. It felt thick, like it was pressing against my skin. The red light began to pulse faster, matching the sound. My head started to ache. The screens flickered, and for one brief second, I saw something clear. The lower wing corridor. The same heavy steel door that had once been sealed shut. Now it was open again. A dark mist poured out from it, spreading slowly down the hall. I stood up, unable to breathe. I knew what would come next. The power returned suddenly. Bright white light flooding the room. The sound stopped. The screens went blank. I turned around, and my reflection in the glass door caught my eye. It was standing still, but its head was turned slightly, just enough to look directly at me, though I hadn't moved. The lights flickered once more, and my reflection smiled, only for a second. When the lights steadied, it was gone. The rest of the night passed like a blur. I didn't move from the chair. I didn't write in the logbook. I didn't even check the time. When morning came, I left the building without looking at the walls or the doors. The sun felt wrong, pale and empty, like it didn't belong to this world anymore. That day, I noticed something new. Every time I blinked, I saw flashes of red light in the dark behind my eyes, like the glow from the screens had burned itself into me. And when I walked, I could hear the faint hum of electricity under my skin. That night, I knew something had crossed over. The building had gone dark, but it had left its darkness inside me, and I was beginning to change.